white supremacists are totally right, he should be kicked out of Romania. You see how stupid that is? Like, why is Andrew trying to be a white supremacist now when he's black? Andrew Tate would be deported from Romania following white supremacist logic, but he's like, I'm on your side. No, you're not. You're literally not on their side. Like, what? Bro, like, what is he talking about?
That don't make no sense. Like,
right, bro, that don't make no sense. He's black, bro. He's black too. Tate tweet. Okay, what did Tate say? Tate says, I stopped talking to you years ago for a reason. Okay. As if it's like God's grace to speak. Okay, you know, you didn't even respond to what I say. You said that white supremacists are totally right. I give a fair criticism based off of Islam there, and you're like, I don't like you. You're not on the cool kids table. If that's what you believe instead of Islam or instead of what I'm talking about, then okay. Andrew, nobody's botting likes. We're watching the fight right now with Jake Future. Nobody's botting likes, bro. See my stream tomorrow night. I'm going to address all of this after the fight. Don't do any doxing. I don't want to see any hate being spread towards any of these people. Obviously, you know that we love Nick. I've been very supportive of the Tates for many years now, nonstop about their case. And my point still stands about them. Obviously, there's disagreements out very clearly. But don't spread hate towards anyone. I don't want to create any divisions. I don't want to see any of that infighting. I think infighting causes a lot of distraction and it brings everybody's energy in the wrong places, especially when right now it's important that we are united about God, because I think that's the unifying common denominator that we have, is that we believe in God. So no hate, none of that. I don't want to see any of that, and that's not a representation of me. And if you do that in love speech, if you post any doxing, at least, if you post any doxing, you will be banned.
But I thought I'd explain this one because a few people got confused, including SNEAKO. And guys, I know everyone's giving him a hard time right now, but I'm not here to end SNEAKO's career. I mean, I could. I'm that guy. But I'm not here to do that to the guy. You know, he's young. He's young. He'll get it. So, you know, whatever. SNEAKO has his view. The only reason I even replied to him is because he implied I was Jewish, which he knows is a bit far. It's kind of interesting. You know, I've always noticed this about him. He's kind of passive aggressive, you know? He's kind of like one of those girls who like starts a fight and gets in your face and says, hit me then, hit me, hit me, hit me. And then like hits you 3 times, hit me. And then you hit her and she's like, oh. It's like, you can't just sit there and call me a Jew and then be like, why did he reply that? Like, bro, you need to chill out. Anyway, I have nothing against SNEAKO. He's a man on his own journey. I'm not his enemy. I don't need to implode his career. If he wants to ruin his career, he can do it himself, carrying down this asinine path of insanity. So nothing against him. This is not an anti-SNEAKO stream. I know all of you are messaging me, bury SNEAKO. No, I won't. I'm a merciful man. What I am going to do is explain my tweet. I'm going to explain what I meant. Then we've got some clips here. Supposedly SNEAKO's been talking about me. I don't know. I've never watched a SNEAKO stream in my life, but supposedly he's talked about me. So we're going to play them, see if there's anything of interest. I'm half black and half white. Let me confirm something. Race is real. It's super real. I can literally turn my black side or white side on, like choosing a different video game character depending on the situation. Whatever is more advantageous at the time. I can be white in the courtroom, a nigger in jail. I'm a hybrid, the ultimate version of human. But most of you are not hybrid. Most of you are one or the other. The white supremacists who say race is everything are totally right. It is. Ignoring race spells the end of the white man, as the white man's complex systems can be easily overloaded by brutality. White people disagree, court. Black people disagree, kill. Stabbing is easier than suing. It's not right, but it's fast. It's quick, it's efficient, and efficiency wins in the end. White people systems work with white people. Suing only works when suing is the only option. Bottom line, ignore race at your peril. India is India because they're Indians. Norway is Norway because they're Norwegian. You can argue all day about where's better and where isn't, but that is the facts. As a white person, it must be brutally frustrating to see a huge percentage of white people betray their own people. Also frustrating to see people come to white countries and shit on the natives all day, but perhaps white people deserve it for allowing so many white traitors to encourage it. Traitors are the worst. They inspire your enemy. History has always hated rats and traitors for this very reason. They're worse than the enemy itself. The word racist has cucked the white man into surrendering their lands and their women forever. The word racist has turned a large majority of whites into traitors. The white in me feels bad for you. The nigger in me is riding around with white women in Lambos. It is what it is. But race is real. And white supremacists are totally right about this. No white only country means soon there will be no white people. You'll be outbred. You'll be out-violenced. You'll be cucked by words. You'll be betrayed by your own kind. And I am not your enemy for pointing this out. I am your brown friend, confirming you were right all along. But unlike you, I cannot be called racist to any serious effect. That was the tweet. Now, when I said this, SNEAKO, a few others got confused and like, oh, he's a white supremacist. You're a nigger, Andrew. You're a nigger. They're never going to like you. You're a nigger. You got that right. You fucking got 100% real nigger. 100% hard R. Ask your girl. Ask her. 100% nigger. I got sapphires. I got baby mamas. I've been to jail. My black card is in check. That has nothing to do with what I've said. That has nothing to do with what I've said. I've said that if white people do not have a white-only country, sooner or later they're going to end up decimated. That's what I've said. That doesn't mean, oh, you said white supremacists are the best. You said white people are the best. Never said that. Where did I say white people are the best people in my tweet? Didn't say that. They're actually losing. So how did I say they're the best people ever? In fact, I said hybrids are the best. I can go to Brazil, say Capasso mi amor or some bullshit, and be Brazilian. When I go Egypt, they talk to me in Egyptian. I could be a nigger. I could be white. I can do it all. I can go to Russia. I go to Mongolia. I'm fine. I'm a hybrid. I got everything. I can run fast. I can do math. I can do both sides. I'm the ultimate male. I don't know what you want me to say. The only people I've said are the heroes are the hybrids. Now, my mother went through a whole bunch of hate in the 80s for dating a black man. My mother went through a whole bunch of shit for that, but it made me perfect. Someone actually quite astutely pointed out to me, well, is your mother a race traitor? I said, that's actually a very interesting point. But then, I guess, when you understand the world, you understand women ain't loyal to shit anyway. Women are only loyal to their own feelings unless they have a patriarchal force that's forcing them to be loyal to anything, whether it's their race or their religion or their country. Women don't give a fuck about anything. So if her dad didn't keep her ass in check, I guess some fucking nigger picked her ass up and here I am. What do you want me to do about it? But hybrids are the superhumans. I never said white people are the best. I said that the brutality will overwhelm your systems because your systems are based on civility. And you have been cucked and constrained by morality. And that is the point I'm trying to make, which is extremely important here. So let's break the whole tweet down little by little. Let's go through it. Line by line. I'm half black and half white. True. Actually, to be technical, my white side is half English, half Irish. My black side, I don't know. We traced it back. And the black side of me were slaves for the Tate and Lyle sugar. You know, the blue and white sugar packs, Tate and Lyle. I don't know if you know that. That was me. Tate and Lyle sugar. So I'm so sweet. And then white, my mother's half Irish, half English. Race is real. It's super real. I can turn on my black side or my white side, like choosing different video game characters depending on the situation. Whatever's more advantageous at the time. I can be white in the courtroom and nigger in jail. This is 100% facts. Me and Tristan will go to court. We'll be as intelligent and intellectual as we need to be. We'll sit there and we'll get it all done. And then when they put us in the cell, we're like, man, this is what real niggers are. Tupac went to jail. Woo! And you just nig out. And it's fine again. If you're white, you're sitting in there like, oh, why am I in jail? I need to get my lawyer and I'm trapped in here. But if you're black about it, it's funny. And you're a gangster. So it's cool. Malcolm X went to jail. Mike Tyson went to jail. Nelson Mandela went to fucking jail. Everyone goes to fucking jail. Of course, I'm a real nigger. Of course I went to fucking jail. Black card. So it's fine. So you can change. I can change character. I'm a hybrid, the ultimate version of human. I'm not a white supremacist, SNEAKO. Stop crying. I'm a hybrid supremacist.
I think what you meant to say was separatism, not supremacy. White separatism, being separate races, not one is better than the other, but that what works in one area won't work in another, and they should probably do their own thing, their own.
Yeah, you're
area.
probably right. But the reason I use the word supremacy is because it's the supremacists who are calling for it, right? I don't agree with the supremacy part, but I do agree with the part of that they're not going to have countries very long, and they are being replaced unless they do something about it. That I think is very hard to objectively deny.
You said that white supremacists are totally right. I give a fair criticism based off of Islam there, and you're like, I don't like you. You're not on the cool kids table. If that's what you believe instead of Islam or instead of what I'm talking about, then okay.
No, SNEAKO, that's not what happened. You did not give a fair criticism based on Islam. Firstly, it is not your job in Islam to criticize anybody. That's the first thing. Second thing, you questioned my faith and called me a Jew. So you were responded to in kind. You cannot be a passive aggressive little girl. I understand you're young. But if you talk that way to people, you're going to be responded to a certain way. And you do it all the time. It's not just me. It's just who you are. You're very like smarmy, snarky. That's who you are. That's fine. But you deserved it. And you got brutally wrecked because you deserved it. Because you can't call me a Jew. And also, just because you've been Saudi and I've been trapped on house arrest, you don't get to be a better Muslim than me and tell me how the world works either, friend. Right? So, no hard feelings, but you fucking deserved it. Right? If you said it in person, I would have knocked your ass out and I would have helped you get up afterwards and said, sorry, sir, I had to break your jaw. Sometimes things just have to happen. You know? I know you think you're a tough guy because Strickland couldn't finish you. I'll finish you. Don't worry about that. I'm built different. But guys, don't pile on SNEAKO. He supported me in my case. Of course he did, because I'm innocent. And I would support him if he had a case. And he's young and he will get one because he's very young. And if he continues to run around with all them women, he's going to get a case. And I'll support him the same. Of course I will. Just can't call me a Jew.
I have to point out the obvious. There's clearly been some sort of anger, some sort of jealousy, or perhaps some sort of emotional attachment to whatever. Because I have been publicly defending Andrew Tate. Everybody has seen it relentlessly for years, to the point where it was a meme, where I was taking hits on my own reputation, to where people were making fun, oh, you're glazing, taco, all this stuff. When they were in jail, do you know the amount of people that I had to debate, the amount of people that I had to go against defending your case? Never heard a word of thanks, never heard a word of consolation. That's fine. The truth is more important. I don't need to get approval. I don't care. If there's something incorrect happening to one of my brothers, I'm going to go and speak up for them. But very clear what everybody sees, you have not acknowledged any of that. You've never said a word of anything positive. The first time you speak about me is negative and trying to tear down what I've brought, to try to tear down my career. In fact, you said that you were going to end my career, that you want to end everything that I've built. That's the first acknowledgement from the person, probably the most famous person in my generation by far, who's the day one when you got locked up. It was me. You're innocent. This is incorrect. This is unjust. The only one. In fact, I think I deserve credit for helping your reputation with Gen Z. Who else was really saying this? I love Aiden, and I think you've been disrespectful to Aiden as well, but a lot of people were quiet. A lot of people didn't say a word because they didn't want to risk their reputation in case that you were actually guilty. But I was there. And then the first time you say anything is, you're gay, I stopped talking to you for a reason. People see through this. People see through this. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my community, the audience, but people are going to see through this, and it's going to damage your reputation as the beacon of truth, the beacon of masculinity. You're like, what? Wait, what about brotherhood? What about loyalty? What about truth? What did SNEAKO even say to make you this upset? What did SNEAKO say to trigger you to diss him publicly and then make a whole stream correcting him and threatening to, saying you want to fight, saying you want to end my career, to be boastful and prideful? In fact, the arrogance that everybody is seeing from this is proof that maybe people are going to start looking in different directions. If you want to keep the brand of Top G, you cannot hold on to this arrogance and pride that you so clearly have. And I'm not saying this is disrespect, but it's become evident to a lot of people. Because real masculinity is not being boastful. Real masculinity is not being prideful. Real masculinity is not flashiness and cars and look how strong and rich I am. Money does not make your masculinity. In fact, it's the opposite. Being humble, being respectful, being generous, being kind. All these attributes that you don't really speak about it, you do touch on them sometimes, but that's what really makes a real man. I'm half black and half white. Let me confirm something. Race is real. It's super real. I can literally turn my black side or white side on, like choosing a different video game character, depending on the situation. Whoa. And also, what it says earlier in this tweet is talking about how white people are smart and black people are animals. So like black people are murderous and just know how to stab, and white people are so high IQ that they go to court. That's what he's insinuating. Black people are animalistic and so they murder, and white people, they go through the legal system. So he's saying that he's justifying the white supremacist belief. White supremacy believing that white people are superior because they're more advanced, they're more intellectual, they're more capable, and black people are an animalistic monkey species who cannot even exist in the first world. That's the white supremacist belief, and that is incorrect. That's a lie. That's not true. In fact, it goes against the very fundamentals of Islam. So I tweeted, I said, white supremacists are totally right. This goes against the core fundamentals of Islam. God did not, in fact, choose any race as supreme, and if you believe so, you're Jewish. Saying, if you believe that there's a supreme race, you follow the Zionist ideology that's creating all the disruption in the world. You are following the belief system that's contributing to the genocide of Palestinians right now, Free Palestine. There is no supreme race. God did not choose anybody to be better than anybody else. That's why Islam exists. Islam exists to get rid of that racial barrier. So I corrected him. If you believe that you're better than other people, you are following Zionist ideology. In fact, that's a Talmudic ideology, that everybody else is goy, everybody else is subhuman, animalistic, everybody else is worse, and that they can do things to the rest of the world that they don't do between themselves. For example, they won't practice usury between themselves, but they'll practice it with the rest of the world. They won't do gambling. They won't share porn with themselves, with their own race, but they'll spread it to the rest of the world because they're the chosen people. They're the supreme race. And I even said this yesterday. I would argue the first act of racism ever was Iblis. When God told Iblis to go and prostrate to Adam, Iblis said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm superior. I'm arrogant. It was the first act of arrogance. God said, cast him away and said, if you're not gonna obey me, then get away. And then Iblis became Satan. That was the first act of racism. And we should be very careful of that. Arrogance, there's a lot of stories that there's a lot of examples and metaphors we could take from that story. How being arrogant is the source of all evil. How Shaitan started with an act of racism, with the feeling of superiority. That's what racism really is. A feeling of superiority.
No hard feelings, but you fucking deserved it. Right? You said it in person, it'll knock you out.
Deserved what? Like, okay, deserved. What did you said absolutely wrecked. Where did you wreck me? Providing an emotional argument to something factual. You expose yourself by having like the same thing that you blew up for, calling out women for their emotional things. Men are logical, women are emotional, men are logical. You had an emotional argument to a very logical argument. You switched up on what made you popular. Who got demolished?
But you fucking deserved it. Right? If you said it in person, it would have knocked your ass out. And I would have helped you get up afterwards and said, sorry, sir, I had to break your jaw. Sometimes things just have to happen.
Do you see how this is an emotional argument? You tell someone the truth and they're like, I'm gonna hit. That's what women do. That's what women do. You tell a woman to stop by and say, hey, don't put that on when you go outside. No! That's exactly what you're doing. Do you think, it's crazy to me that he thinks that I'm scared. That you think I'm scared of you. No Muslim is scared of another man. We only fear Allah. What can you say? What do you think you can do that's gonna like make me live in fear?
I know you think you're a tough guy because Strickland couldn't finish you. I'll finish you. Don't worry about that. I'm built different.
I've never been the person to run away from a fight. I've never been the person to be, if I already fought a UFC champion 60, 70 pounds more than me, I'm not gonna run away from this. Do you think Andrew Tate would fight Sean Strickland?
And also, just because you've been Saudi and I've been trapped on house arrest, you don't get to be a better Muslim than me and tell me how the world works either, friend. Right?
Okay, but first, Tate, you tell everybody else how the world works all the time. I'm the beacon of truth, master. I know how the world works. Listen to me. When you talk to Aiden, you're really disrespectful to Aiden, even though Aiden's a great guy. And you're like, listen to me. This is how inflation, you always tell everybody how the world works. When you're wrong, you are not supposed to criticize everybody else, act like you know everything, act like you're the symbol of, and then when you make very clear public errors, be immune to advice.
But guys, don't pile on SNEAKO. He supported me in my case. Of course he did, because I'm innocent. And I would support him if he had a case. And he's young, and he will get one, because he's very young. And if he continues to run around with all them women, he's going to get a case. And I'll support him the same. Of course I will.
What women am I running around? Where? Where's the women? Women! There's none here. There's no women. There's no women here.
You can't call me a Jew. But guys, don't.
Okay. It seems like that's it. Is there more? But yeah, there's okay. I'll end off by saying this. I'll end off by saying this. There's no beef. There's no beef. I had to correct it. You know, the public disrespect is not doesn't stand right with me, and everything's good with Tristan. First off, actually, I just talked to him like right before the stream, and yeah, I've always liked Tristan. Andrew, it's, you know, it's disappointing after being, you know, so publicly in support, but it is what it is. I don't want to spread any hate towards you. I wish the best for you. And Andrew Tate, I love you for the sake of Allah. I want the best for you. I want we have a lot in common, you know, our belief system. It actually turns out that on this issue too, we have a lot in common. And there shouldn't be infighting. It's a big distraction. I think there's bigger enemies to focus on right now. I think a lot of this infighting right now recently is a big waste of energy. It kind of turned this into a bit of a clown show. So regardless of what you think of me, that's fine. You know, if you don't want to be cordial, you don't want to be, it's okay. I'm not here for your friendship. That's not what I'm here for. I care about what the message that's being put out into the world. This stuff is important. And if you think that's snarky, that you said something wrong and I'm correcting you, that's fine. But when we're seeing like consequences for these words, like we should advise each other. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay. Yeah, and the end your career stuff is just, it's just unnecessary. It's like, what do you want? Oh, like be scared or something, or like, what's the threat? I'm not going to try to. In fact, I've actually tried to save your career so many times. I'm not going to try to end your career. I would never try to do that. It's just, yeah, I think it's very arrogant. I don't think it's a good example for people, and I don't think it's resonating with people that I don't think it's resonating the same way that it did in 2022. You know, that whole thing, the red pill, alpha, top G, women, I don't think that it hits the same anymore. I think that there's a bubble, there's a response to everything, there's a response to feminism, but right now people are getting tired of that. That's why you see like the arguments with girls, for example, are going down. Fresh and Fit have pivoted away and started to new political content. But people are tired of hearing that women this, women that, like no one wants to hear that anymore. What's needed now is a good example, and people want to find God. I think that there's a big lack of spirituality with a lot of people, and they're looking for the right sort of message. People want to see, they want to see generosity, respect, kindness. They want to see the attributes of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and what made him the most influential man in history. I just sounded like Think About Is Fresh. So yeah, I think that covers most of that stuff. Let's get into this. That's it from I mean, he did this whole stream covering it, but I don't think we need to see it. We saw the clips, right? Pretty much it. I have to get into the rest of the stuff. Let me look through my notes. Let's see if I forgot anything. And next time, Andrew, just reach out. I have your number, you know? I have your number. You don't need to do this. It's not necessary. That's it. Us.
White supremacy, someone calls SNEAKO. Even they want to change teams. It's over for the white people. Doesn't mean I don't understand them. Doesn't mean I don't believe they should have a country. I get it. I get their point of view. That's why I said, look, guys, I get it. And because I get it, people are like, you're a white supremacist. Yeah, I'm a brown white supremacist. Are you fucking dumb? Everyone's so gay. There's always gonna be some idiot trying to get views on his stream, talking more gay shit, just being gay. You know, I've been around long enough. I should be a litmus test. If there's someone I don't really talk to, I know things you don't know. And I'm not the kind of person to start internet drama, and I'm not really the kind of person to openly say things about people. But I know things you don't know, so you should just trust Tate.
Tate said something that was really funny. He's like, he thinks that I am denouncing white supremacy to try to get a kick deal. I'm like, okay, is that what Rumble's about? So on the alternative, is not selling your soul being a white, like, because all I did was call out white supremacy and said that there's no basis of that. And he's like, he's trying to get a kick deal. I'm not trying to get a kick deal by saying racism is wrong. Like, this is the most this is the most widely accepted take by anybody. It's not red pilled or truth telling to think that a race is superior. It's just a weird logic to me that you think I'm selling out by being against supremacy. Like, what did you think this whole conversation about Zionism was? That's the idea of supremacy. It's the same exact thing. It just because supremacy is not good with one group of people doesn't mean that it is good with another. It's bad for all people. So no, I'm not selling my soul to get a kick deal or a Twitch deal. Okay. And I think that actually puts a bad light on Rumble. Like if they think now people are going to think that Rumble has to be about white supremacy, and it's not. Rumble is a place for free speech, and there's all different kinds of creators on here. I have nothing against Andrew Tate, love him for the sake of Allah. But when I see this stuff being spread around and being like muddied up with Islam, this is the same mistake that happened once. Like siding with these people that are stirring up riots in the UK, that will happen again if you side with white supremacy. I don't want to see that mistake being repeated. And I've met some of these people too. I just came back from the UK. I know what happened. And it's just like a very simple thing that we need to correct. So, you know, I wish the best for my Muslim brothers. I think he took it personally, but yeah.
I'm going to put this out there. If our brother Tate wants to have like an offline conversation with SNEAKO, myself, and him, and kind of discuss everything out, he's our brother. We'll solve it. But, you know, we cannot side with people who are spreading lies that are physically harming Muslims, right? This is not acceptable. The Quran and the Sunnah keep us united, and, you know, going into our own side tracks divides us.
Yeah, we can't side with the kuffar. And yeah, I wish the best for these people, but yeah, I want the best. I want the best. I know some people want the beef, and like there's zero part of me that wants to beef with my Muslim brother. It's gonna look really bad for the ummah. It's gonna reflect poorly on reverts, and it's just gonna damage the reputation of Islam, and that's more important than us. So I just want him to like fix some of this stuff, because you know. And I'm not, when I say this, I'm not trying to come off like a prophet, Andrew. I'm not saying like I'm better than you. You know, it's just this is what's most important right now. If you're Muslim, you believe that this is the most important thing in the world.
Christianity and Islam were born from the same period of same place on earth, right? And we respect and we respect and worship a lot of the same people.
Oh, no. We're the best for him. This is the most simple ideas about Islam. Like that's the whole point. Like literally when you take Shahada, La ilaha illallah, there's nobody worthy of worship except Allah. There's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. That's the statement to become Muslim. La ilaha illallah, bruv. Come on, bruv. Call me a Jew.
Right, so
but I thought Tate was gonna come on. I thought you were gonna come and help us like be the Jewish manipulator and squash the beef.
He didn't respond. Yo, SNEAKO has beef?
Well, there's not beef, but he's saying like whatever. I don't want to say anything bad, but he was like laughing and saying that he could end my career if he wanted to.
Oh shit. Can he?
No man can stop what I do. Like there's not anybody on this earth that can ever. So many people thought my career was going to be over 30 billion times. You've seen it happen. How many ups and downs, Aiden, come from comedy, have you seen me go through since you've known me,
bro?
A lot of challenges, bro. You saw me get in the octagon with Sean Strickland. You saw like the moist thing, and then I ended up beating him in the debate. You saw so many different opponents. You saw me lose my YouTube channel.
I saw when Constantine ignored you.
Are you in moist
nice.
critical cool?
I mean, he stopped replying to me. You know, same